The royal family is always giving us news, but this week in particular has been one of the craziest since Megxit in 2020. Charlie is going to break down some of the biggest moments that have happened in the royal family this week with us. Charlie, we have to start with Prince Andrew. What is going on?
I mean, what isn't going on with Prince Andrew? First of all, he has finally agreed to give up his royal titles. Now, for anyone who's been living under a rock for several years now, Prince Andrew has long been embroiled in the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking scandal.
Right.
He has been accused in particular by the late Virginia Roberts Jeffrey of having sex with her when she was underage at the behest of Jeffrey Epstein. Now, Andrew has vehemently denied these allegations again and again and again. However, since his catastrophic on-air interview in 2019, which effectively destroyed all of his credibility, the backlash against Andrew has just continued to mount. He was effectively sidelined as a senior royal several years ago. He didn't really do any official events. He only really joined the other senior royals when it was kind of a family event rather than an official engagement. And he's pretty much been spending the last few years holed up inside his longtime home, Royal Lodge, with his, strangely, ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson.
Right.
So that was the lay of the land come mid-October. And Virginia Roberts Jeffrey's posthumous memoir was due to be released on October 21st, basically rehashing all of the allegations that she's made against Andrew and including a few more. So in an apparent attempt to get ahead of this, Andrew announced that he has relinquished all of his royal titles.
And now we know that actually includes his title of prince. According to BBC, Buckingham Palace just released a statement saying that the king has, quote, initiated a formal process to remove the style, titles, and honors of Prince Andrew. So along with now being known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, this change also includes his other honors.
He was bestowed the title of Duke of York. His wife, or now former wife, Sarah Ferguson, was the Duchess of York when they were married. She actually continued to use the title even after their divorce, but that's now a thing of the past because he is no longer the Duke of York. He has given up that title along with several very prestigious military honors that he earned during his past career. So those are gone.
Did Sarah Ferguson have to give up her title as Duchess of York when this all went down?
She did. I mean, technically, she should have given it up when they got divorced, but people have kind of turned a blind eye because Andrew and Sarah have a very complicated relationship where even though they're divorced, they're still living like a married couple.
They're still seen together all the time.
They're living as a married couple, but not for long.
Right. Because of all of this now, they have to move out of their house as part of these stipulations.
Exactly. So Prince Andrew has, for the last 20-odd years, been living in a 30-room mansion known as Royal Lodge. The home was basically gifted to him, or loaned to him, I should say, by his late mother back in 2003. The lease agreement was what is known as a peppercorn rent agreement, which basically means, every now and then throw us a nominal amount just so that legally it looks like you're still renting this place.
Yeah.
Nominal amount, by the way, is like a single £1. You know, I mean,
they get to decide.
If I could pay a single $1 to live in my apartment every month, I would be rolling in the dosh. So Andrew paid about £1 million when he moved into the property, and he then paid around £7.5 million to completely refurbish the entire place so that it would be comfortable and luxurious and all that jazz.
But when he pays this amount of money to renovate this, is this money that's coming from his trust? Is it coming from his bank account, or is it money from the royal family?
It's coming from his bank account, but the money in his bank account has been earned through, stipends from the royal family bank account, plus any business endeavors that he has kind of been involved in over the years. Let's not forget that he was actually involved in some business endeavors, which is how he got connected to Jeffrey Epstein in the first place. So Andrew paid this amount. He then has like every now and then flicked a pound coin into the coffers of the royal family. And again, since the whole Jeffrey Epstein scandal exploded, a lot of people have said, hey, hang on a minute. Why are you still living in the lap of luxury on the royal family's dime when this house could actually be rented out to someone who's genuinely wealthy and who's genuinely willing to pay rent? So that's all been unfolding over the past few years. When King Charles ascended to the throne, he very much took the view that, like, right, Andrew has been coddled enough. My mother protected him for too long.
Right.
It's time for, you know, this kind of gravy train to come to a close.
People that are thinking, wasn't there something that happened when this all came out with the Queen, and now this is kind of another level? Can you separate or differentiate what happened for people when Queen Elizabeth had to speak out on this as compared to now where he does have to give up this title?
So it's long been rumored and long been suggested that Andrew was Queen Elizabeth's favorite child. A lot of people have always taken the view that she was extraordinarily protective of him and that she kind of went above and beyond to guard him from public backlash and public criticism. Now, the Queen was first and foremost dedicated to her royal duties. However, that hard line appeared to blur the most when it came to Andrew. So when the Epstein scandal chapter 15 began unfolding, when it was revealed that authorities in the US were actually investigating Andrew, when they were calling for him to submit for questioning, all of that stuff, the Queen and Andrew kind of decided together that he would give up not his royal titles, but almost like his royal role. So he would no longer be considered a senior working member of the royal family, which meant he would no longer be involved in official engagements, and he would just be a royal as far as the family was concerned. So he'd still, you'd still see him attending funerals and Christmases and church services and so on and so forth.
Was he at the coronation for King Charles? Okay, so that kind of stuff he's always going to be there for.
So, but you wouldn't see him, opening hospitals or doing anything that saw him representing the royal family, effectively. So that was kind of the situation when the Queen was still alive.
Okay.
Cut to King Charles being on the throne, and Charles was kind of like, look, the royal family's reputation is difficult enough to maintain as it is. We need to kind of take an even stricter view as far as Andrew is concerned. Charles also was very open about his kind of desire to slim down the monarchy as far as those official roles were concerned. So Andrew's position within the royal family was kind of already on the chopping block. Add to that the horrifying, Virginia Roberts accusations, and it was kind of a sensible decision, I think, just to be like,
A little more distance, a little more separation of family.
So Charles has been trying to convince Andrew to move out of Royal Lodge for several years now. The baseline is Andrew and Fergie are moving out, and goodness knows who will move in. But hopefully it's someone who has a little bit more than £1 a month to afford for rent. I have actually, believe it or not, given that I've been speaking for 45 minutes on this whole topic, there is a further complication. Because one day after it was revealed that Andrew had finally agreed to get out of Royal Lodge, a royal expert in the UK, the same journalist who conducted Andrew's terrible 2019 interview about Epstein, she claimed that it was Prince William who was the driving force behind this whole move. Now, according to her, her name is Emily Maitlis. She's a brilliant journalist, but she has claimed that Prince William threatened to revoke the titles of Andrew's daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, and encouraged them to effectively push their dad out the door of Royal Lodge.
Well,
so, yeah.
You're getting the kids involved now.
Getting the kids involved. He went there, ladies and gents. a lot of people are actually applauding William for this move. They're saying, look, that shows he has what it takes to make the hard decisions as a future monarch.
Right.
And that he's already able to kind of step into his dad's shoes and do things that others aren't willing to do. And I think, you know, truthfully, William is very close with Beatrice and Eugenie. I very much doubt that this conversation went down in a Succession style, you know?
Right, yes.
He's not sitting there rubbing his hands gleefully and, you know, threatening to kind of take down his cousins.
Right.
However, he's kind of saying to them, like, look, your dad can't live there anymore. Spare him the embarrassment of us
Right.
having to send the repo men to, like, get him out. And just explain it will be better for everyone, including you two, if he goes quietly.
Definitely. And kind of for the whole family as a whole, because they've got a lot of eyes on them with this entire situation. And as you said, a lot of people have been applauding what William's been doing in other aspects of his rise through succession. So this seems like maybe it's just one of those moments for him to really kind of start to take more on as his father.
Yeah, I mean,
Continue.
as his father.
Well, you know, I was going to say.
Look, I mean,
continues to get older, but I also am continuing to get older, so.
we all hope that Charles lives a long and healthy life. But the reality is no monarch, as far as we're aware, is likely to have a similar length of reign that Queen Elizabeth II had. It was unprecedented how long she remained on the throne. And, you know, a lot of people believe that Charles will maybe spend a few more years on the throne and then he will pass the crown to William.
Do you think that he would ever step down?
I do.
Oh, you do?
I do.
But
I
wouldn't
think
he be one of the first in a long time to do that?
He would be. I'm trying to figure out his great-grandfather, his grandfather, his great-uncle.
Father?
No. So Elizabeth's
uncle.
father. Yeah, Elizabeth's uncle. So Elizabeth's father only became king because his brother abdicated.
Which I know from watching all of The Crown.
There we go. Yes, exactly. If you've seen The Crown, you know it well. Technically, Queen Elizabeth II was never meant to be queen. It was not in her future until the fates said, hey, you know what? Out of this whole mess, she's the best option. So it hasn't happened in many years. However, the royal family needs to adapt and evolve like any business, because they are, at the end of the day, they are a business, at least on the public facing side of things. And I think a lot of people would look at Charles kind of abdicating also as, it seems like a really miserable word. I think everyone would look at Charles stepping down.
Retiring.
Exactly. as being a passing of the baton, which I think, or baton, if you prefer. But I think that a lot of people would see it as the right thing to do. It's like the CEO of a giant company saying, you know what? The day-to-day running of this company does not sit with me. It needs to sit with someone else. I can't handle it anymore. So why not prepare my successor while I'm still around to give them guidance and advice and all of that good stuff? So that's, I think, how you need to view it.
What do you think about the people who believe that Charles was itching to get into the throne and to become the king and feeling like he got gypped? I mean, there are people that say that. None of this is actually warranted or true. But there are people that are like, oh, you know, he had to wait so long until his mom passed away and now he's in his 70s and he's just getting to take over. Do you think that his ego would come into play at all?
I really don't. I personally have seen a very different side to Charles since he became king. And I think, you know, anyone who has in their mind this image of him being like, just die, you know, as far as his mother was concerned, that's not it at all. He loved his mother. He was devastated by her death. But you have to keep in mind, this is a role that he was being primed for from birth. So imagine your entire life, everything you do, everything you say, and every single decision you make relates to this job that you will one day in the future take. And you then have to wait 70 years sitting on the sidelines, waiting for that job to pass to you. So it's less about Charles being like, I must be king, and more about him kind of his life almost being in limbo for so long, because, you know, when he divorced Diana, it was like, he's the future king. When he and Camilla Parker Bowles got married, he's the future king. So I think he was just done with that kind of like waiting around.
Yeah.
And he wanted to effectively, this is going to sound very Disney movie-esque, but he wanted to fulfill the destiny that he had been primed for since birth.
Whole life. Right.
But I think now that he has done that, if he reaches a stage, whether it is through age, health, or, you know, mentality, if he reaches a stage where he is not able to confidently serve in the position of monarch, I truthfully do think he would pass the crown to William.
That's fair. Very complicated for their entire family. Speaking of more complicated things.
Oh, Lord.
Meghan and Harry, we have to talk about them.
Ba-dum-bum.
I feel like they are probably watching from their cozy Montecito mansion.
Cozy? That place is enormous. My cozy.
You know, cottage. It's one of those. They probably have a name for it. They probably call it a cottage, too. If their family can do it, so can they.
Right? Yeah.
But do you think they're watching all of this being like, oh, okay, you guys go do your thing. Meghan's out here being like, I've got a new Christmas holiday launch coming.
Candles and spreads.
She's just working on her new stuff.
She is. I mean, honestly, my Instagram is just like filled with the teasers of like what is to come.
I know.
It's
it was
very
like a big drop coming.
I mean, honestly, it's very Gwyneth Paltrow meets Martha Stewart, all of the hazy clips and the spreading of the jams and all of that good stuff. But no, I don't think they were watching. You know why? Because they were busy watching the Dodgers game.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
true
they're full.
Angelinos. Harry has fully crossed over. Gone are the days where he was at soccer matches. He's now sporting an LA Dodgers cap, sitting front row in the World Series.
I was going to say America's pastime.
Yeah.
Not only is he heading to a pro sports event, he's going to America's pastime for it.
Yeah, take him out to
He's
the ball
really leaning
game.
in.
He looked to be having a whale of a time. They both did. And no wonder, because they got the VIP seating. They were ahead of Magic Johnson. They were ahead of several different very prominent MLB legends. No. The Dodgers were like, you know what? Harry and Meghan, you're in row 1. Magic Johnson, you're tall enough. Get behind them.
You can still see from back here. These are royals.
Yeah. But no, I mean, to me, I looked at it and I was like, he's no longer Prince Harry. I mean, he is officially. I can't say that. He is.
Right.
But no, he's like Harry the Angelino
He
now.
is.
He's sporting his cash outfit. He's got his cap on.
He's leaning in.
He's cheering.
They didn't have their kids with them, though. Although we did get a little preview of what their Halloween season has been looking like on
Pumpkin
Meghan's.
patch. Again,
on Meghan's
so
Instagram.
American. Honestly, pumpkin patch. No, in the UK, we have bonfire night. That's what we do in the fall season. Yeah, I know you're looking
There's
at me
no
like I'm
Halloween?
crazy. I mean, there is, because, you know, anything America does, the UK is like, pick me. So no, we do
I love
have
Prince Harry.
we do have Halloween, but, you know, we do, much less so than here. It's not ingrained in our traditions quite so much. But yeah, I never went to a pumpkin patch growing up. You can bet your bottom dollar or pound that Harry did not go to a pumpkin patch growing up.
Did you bob for apples?
I mean, no. But it does happen in the UK.
I bet the kids are bobbing for apples.
Oh, goodness.
Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet.
Yeah, you know, it's a very strange thing to me to think of members of the royal family being brought up as Americans, you know?
I know.
But they are, obviously, and they have a very lovely, wonderful life in Montecito. You know, they really couldn't be living a nicer lifestyle.
So true.
But it is, it's very strange. I can't imagine what kind of William and Kate think, you know?
Right.
And they haven't seen their niece or nephew in donkey's years.
I know.
So,
and Meghan hasn't been to the UK even herself. Like, when they went to the Dodgers game, it was just the two of them. They do seem to try and keep the kids out of the spotlight for now.
yes.
But
Except
they
on
haven't
Instagram
even
when she
gone-
needs to promote her products.
Right. But only the backs of them.
We
get the
did
back.
actually see a flash of face
We
in the
did?
pumpkin patch video.
Okay, I gotta rewatch it.
Some royal watchers, not me, I'm not that weird, but some royal watchers were zooming, they were screenshotting, they were, you know, There was a flash of face, which is the
Wow,
first time
we've seen face.
Well, we saw Lilibet's face when I think she was about 6 months old. They did share images of her as a baby. But no, they have taken a lot of steps to ensure that Lilibet and Archie are as anonymous as possible. They don't show their faces typically in social media content. They don't take them to events. If they go out anywhere, they ensure that measures are in place so that they can't be photographed and so on and so forth. And when you look at the difference between Lilibet and Archie and George, Charlotte and Louis, it's a vast gap, you know? And I think that is why Harry and Meghan left the royal family. That's what they said. The whole Megxit situation happened because they wanted to protect their children. Harry did not want his kids to have the same upbringing that he had, where the glare of the spotlight was on him at all times. Exactly. So from that side of things, I completely understand it. On the flip side of things, I don't think you can kind of hermit your children forever. Yeah. And maybe this is because I'm not in that position. It may surprise you all to know that I'm not royalty, nor am I famous. But
you're royalty here.
Oh, well, shucks. Yeah.
For us.
I requested the purple background specifically. But I think if it was me, I would almost take the view of like, okay, I would rather share who they are as people. I would rather share them with the world on my own terms.
Yeah, before somebody else does.
Before that decision is taken out of your hands.
It would be such a hard balance to go from you have to share everything that your family has going on to you don't want to share certain things for your kids, but they are still putting them in like half a spotlight because we're seeing them, we're sort of watching them grow without being able to really see much of them. And
we're watching the backs of their heads get bigger.
Right.
Absolutely.
They're sort of anonymous, but we're seeing their hair color and their activities. And then there's like little anecdotes where Meghan will share that they do say certain words with a British accent.
When they do their rose and thorn every day, I think she said.
Oh, did she?
Yeah,
say that?
yeah. She revealed
How
that,
American.
Yeah, they do their rose and thorn every day, and they have a healing blanket at the home where which they give the kids if they're not feeling well. Yeah,
wow.
So American.
I need a healing blanket.
Don't we all need a healing blanket? My goodness. Yeah, any barefoot dreams if you want to hook us up.
Yeah, also, like, as ever, I thought we were getting into the home space. Are we going to start selling healing blankets?
Well, I mean, she's hit us with the candles for the Christmas season, so I would imagine that, HRH healing blankets are on their way.
Should we get some jam?
Absolutely. I mean,
and do a holiday episode?
Oh, I could just imagine us snuggled up here on these chairs
with our healing blankets.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll have jam.
There better be a Christmas tree, I tell you.
Oh.
Yeah, here is the perfect spot for it.
This is perfect. And we could have tea.
We could have tea.
Is that too cliche?
No, I mean, as long as it's good tea. No offense, but the Lipton stuff ain't going to cut it.
Oh, no.
It needs to be proper English breakfast tea and or Earl Grey. None of this stuff that you use with ice.
Okay, we could have a holiday party where we mix the English and the American traditions just like we are part of the royal family.
Yeah, exactly. You can represent Harry and Meghan and Archie and Lilibet, and I will represent William, Kate, George, Charlotte, and Louis.
Oh, wait.
I think it's perfect. Exactly
that's a fair
that.
trade-off.
So join us here December 4th.
Yeah, no, please do. We will be here having our royal holiday party.
Exactly.
Well, Charlie, thank you so much for recapping everything for us today.
Anytime.
It is always great to keep up with the royal family and feel like we know everything going on in their lives.
I mean, anytime.
They're great.
And if you have any questions, hit us with them and we'll make sure we answer them next time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So
Until
fun.
then.